Hi, my name's Rachel Navarro, and I'm here this afternoon in Carnegie interviewing Danny DeVito, who's running for the 45th District as state representative. How are you this afternoon, Danny?
I'm doing great this afternoon, Rachel. Tomorrow's primary election day. We've been working for this for a long time, and we're looking forward to getting the primary out of the way so we could focus on November and winning then.
Are you excited for tomorrow's outcome?
We are very excited. We've been working hard on this for a long time. Our campaign team has been going door to door as much as possible, talking to voters. So tomorrow's the day that really counts, and we're excited about it for sure.
Definitely. Now, first and foremost, I really want to know what inspired you to run for state representative.
The people in the 45th District need somebody who's going to represent working and middle class values. For so long, we've had representatives who have represented the interests of the elites from different places, and they're not in tune with what the people want or what the people need. So looking at all of the different candidates, I decided I'm going to throw my hat in the ring. I'm going to run to represent the working and middle class people. So I decided to do it, and that was my reasoning behind that.
I think we really could benefit from having somebody like you in office. Now that you're running for such a prominent position, did you come from a family background in politics?
No, so my family was very civically engaged in terms of voting. They believe that it's important to exercise our right to vote, but I'm the first person in my family that I know of to seek higher office, and I think that that's a good thing because I think that people want a politician, they want somebody in office who understands what normal working class families go through, and somebody who's going to represent those values. Somebody who knows what they want, somebody who knows what they need. And I think that I'm the candidate for that.
Now, Danny, if elected for office, what will your mission be?
Like I said before, my mission will just be representing the working and middle class people, bringing them jobs. I think it's so important that we get good family sustaining jobs. I think that the natural gas industry offers a chance for good union jobs to come in. Life sustaining. People will be able to support their families. When we have strong families, we'll have a stronger community. I want to represent the working and middle class values. So I'm pro-life. I'm pro-Second Amendment. I'm going to fight for those values in Harrisburg, not just on the defense, but on the offense. I think it's time that our values are pushed and not just defended. So I'm going to be really pushing in Harrisburg for those middle class values. And then, of course, property tax relief. It's hurt our seniors for so long, and they've been promised relief for so long, but the people in office now have lied to them. They haven't taken that money and given it towards the relief of these taxes. So I want to put it into the law that everything that was supposed to go towards property tax relief actually goes towards property tax relief. Too many people lose their homes that they've worked for their entire life because of this. And it's time that we make that a priority and just stop talking about it every election cycle.
It seems like you're a man for change. Now, what are the first steps that you want to take if elected into office for change?
Well, the first steps I'm going to take is I'm going to meet with everybody across the district, business owners, union leaders, people from all walks of life, and I want to find out what do they think needs to happen first. And when I talk to them, I'm going to go down to Harrisburg and I'm going to blast people like I've been doing all along now, and I'm going to say, this is what the people want and need. And they need jobs, they need to be taken care of, and that's what I'm going to do. It's going to be all about taking care of the people in the 45th District by whatever I need to do.
Now, I'm sure it can be really difficult being young and running for such a prominent position. What do you feel that you bring to the table opposed to an older candidate?
Well, a lot of times older candidates will look at a younger candidate and say they don't have the experience. And we have some great older people in office, for sure, that I support. But you cannot just rely on experience. If somebody has 30 years of the wrong experience, then that's no good. I've done this for 30 years. Well, you were doing it the wrong way for 30 years. That's not a reason to continue that. So I think that I bring a perspective of somebody who doesn't have all these connections and tie-ins. My only connections to the people. And when I represent them, that's what I'm going to be doing, representing the people. So 30 years of the wrong experience, I was on this board, I was commissioner of this, but if you're doing it wrong, that's not what we need. We need somebody with the right ideas and the right mindset to come in, and I think that's what I offer. My primary opponent, for example, says I worked for, this government organization for this long, and I'm going to clean it up now. Then why didn't you do it when you were there? So many people, I'm going to do this and that. You had 30 years to do it. You didn't do it. I'm going to come in and I'm going to do it.
Now, I'm sure that many people were wondering this. How did the COVID-19 pandemic affect your campaign?
So campaigns were shut down by Wolf's business shutdown order. So what my campaign did is we sued Governor Wolf and we sued Secretary Levine, and we're currently in the United States Supreme Court to make sure this never happens again. Because I believe that the shutdown was unconstitutional. I think that the whole way Wolf rolled it out was incompetent. So again, I was already standing up for small business owners by suing the governor. How did it affect the campaign? We weren't able to go door to door like I wanted to. We weren't able to have events where I could shake hands with people and listen to their concerns directly. So we had to really transition into a social media campaign and, focusing on getting press and getting social media. But I wasn't able to press the flesh, as they say, as much as I would have liked to. But, moving forward, we're going to be getting back to normal campaign things, and we're going to keep our lawsuit active against the governor so this does not happen again.
Now, I see that you're very interactive with your constituents via social media. Can you explain exactly how this has benefited your campaign?
I believe social media is an incredible tool for campaigning because it lets me communicate with people directly who I might not otherwise be able to. People can comment on my statuses. I try my best to respond. People send me messages. I don't always get to respond immediately, but we do our best to keep up with that. So it's been a really good tool in terms of just getting to know people. So then when I go to events like our rally, I meet people that I already kind of know. And it's a good experience because it just enables me to connect directly with the people. I don't need to try to get press, even though we get a lot of it. But I can, put my message directly out there and then they disperse it. So it's been a really great thing for the campaign.
Yeah, it seems really great. I see you always responding to people's comments, and it builds that rapport aspect.
That's right. And I believe a representative needs to be accessible to the people. The incumbent, people send her letters and they don't hear back from her. I try to get back to people immediately, and we do the best we can with that. And I like being in direct touch with the people. A lot of people say, how do you resonate so well with the people? It's because I'm listening to them.
Exactly.
I read their comments, I read their messages. So that's the most important thing about it to me.
Yes. Now, being young and already starting out in your political career, what advice could you offer to someone else aspiring to get into office?
I would tell another young person interested in running, if there's an opening and you really have the belief that you're doing it to represent the people, then just do it. Some people want to wait, I'll do it when it's my turn, or, this guy told me, it's not my turn yet, wait for this guy. If you really believe that you're doing it for the right reason to represent the people, and you believe that you have the ability to do it, then I would say it's time to do it. A lot of the old rules have been thrown out, which I think is a good thing, especially with the president. A lot of people say you have to do it in a certain order. I don't believe that. I believe that the people decide who represents them. The people decide who goes to office. So if you think you're qualified and the people agree, just do it.
Now, I'm sure with the young age aspect, you handle a lot of criticism. In what ways can you handle this criticism?
So when people criticize me, again, like we were talking about earlier, over the age, I would say, well, you might have more experience, but you have the right experience. Or have you just been sitting there collecting a check for 30 years? Have you just been doing the same exact thing and not correcting any problems? When I was going door to door, I was talking to people, they said, we've had the same problem for 30 years that nobody has corrected. So I would turn the criticism around. I'd say, you had your turn, you had your chance, you didn't do it. Now it's time for somebody else to come in.
Now, with all of the racial tension going on in the United States currently, being a Republican conservative candidate, how do you feel as though you could represent your constituents who are minorities? I know for myself, I'm personally Hispanic, and I don't believe in this stereotype that Republicans only represent one minority or only for the whites, but how could you benefit your constituents specifically?
My policies will benefit every single person in the 45th district. There's that old saying, a rising tide lifts all boats or lifts all ships. That's what I believe. So my policies are going to benefit everybody, regardless of race, regardless of their background. I believe that everybody who's an American is equal. And that's who my policies are going to benefit. I'm here pushing for Pennsylvanians and Americans. So the same policies that would represent a white guy, they're going to also benefit people of every single background. And that's what our campaign is all about, lifting all Americans, getting the American working and middle class people united, not divided, but uniting the working and middle class people to reclaim our traditional values. I love everybody regardless of, where they're from. And that's what my campaign is all about. think that has been totally turned on its head. You look at who controls the Democratic Party now. It's the bi-coastal elites, these technocrats that live in the richest neighborhoods in the country, and they funnel their funds to Democratic candidates right down to the state house level. And that's why we see local Democrats voting for, Philadelphia big money interests and not the working class of this district. I mean, you look at my policies. I want to grow jobs for working and middle class people. I want to strengthen union jobs. I want to bring in more union jobs in the natural gas industry. The Democrats have declared war on natural gas. So whose policy is really going to benefit the working class? I think that this new way of looking at things, I think most people would agree that it's the Republican Party that represents the values of the working class. And again, not just in terms of economics, but you want to look at the traditional values. Go up to a working class guy. 9 out of 10 of them are going to agree with my position on social issues. They're going to agree with my position on our patriotic values. They don't want to see rioting in the streets. They don't want to see civil unrest. They want to see traditional values, law and order restored. And that's across the board. Everybody I talk to wants to see those things.
Now, I'm sure that you can agree what happened to George Floyd was a terrible thing. Are you for peaceful protesting?
People have the right to peacefully protest. I led a peaceful protest, or I call it a rally, outside of Anita Kulik's office demanding that we reopen PA. I spoke at the rally in Harrisburg to reopen PA. I spoke at the rally in Greensburg to reopen Pennsylvania. So people have the right to assemble, but they have to follow the law. You have to remain civilized. There's a way to do it and there's a way not to do it. People can protest whatever they want. That's their right under the Constitution. I stand by that. But the second you engage in violence, the second you engage in intimidation, the second you start destroying private property, the second you start attacking police officers, that's not protest. That's rioting. That's violence. And that must be squelched immediately. The riots should not happen beyond one night. There should be extreme measures taken to stop that. Peaceful protest, absolutely. That's your right under the Constitution. But we have to differentiate between peaceful protests on the one hand and violent insurrection on the other.
I think it's a really great way to exercise your rights. How you've been organizing these rallies lately. How do you go about your planning for these events?
So, for example, we had a rally recently in Carnegie outside of Representative Kulik's office. And what we did is we really just took the people's concerns and brought them to the public square. So I was speaking with business owners. I was speaking with people from Carnegie and Coraopolis and Robinson who were angered by Governor Wolf's shutdown, and they were angered by Representative Kulik voting against the veto override after spending a week saying that she was going to vote in favor of small businesses. She voted against them twice, against SB 613 in the beginning and then against the veto override. So I was hearing these concerns from small business owners. They saw the big rally in Harrisburg. They saw the one in Pittsburgh. They saw the one in outside Latrobe. And so I said, you know what, I'm going to organize one here. So it kind of came together organically because everybody that I've been speaking with is on the same page. Small business owners are extremely angry about what Wolf did to them and about what Kulik did to them. So putting the rally together, it was really just people coming together. Again, that's what our campaign is about, bringing together people from across the 45th district to unite for our values. And that's what happened. So I reached out to small business owners that were affected by the shutdown. I reached out to other candidates who are on the same page as me. And most importantly, I just reached out to the people and asked them to please show up and voice your concerns to the representative. And that's what happened. And it was beautiful. It was in the American tradition. And we petitioned our government for redress of grievances. And we're going to continue to do that until we get the answers that we want.
I was actually in attendance at your rally, and I find you to be very inspirational. How do you motivate others through your speeches?
Well, I'm happy that you find me to be inspirational. That's one person. But, I think that I think it's really more about the message. I think that what I'm saying really resonates with people because I listen to them. And I'm going to keep doing that when I'm in office. I want to hear what the people have to say, and then I want to be their voice. And I think that that's why our campaign has really taken off. People keep saying, we've never had a state representative race garner this much attention. And the reason for that is that we just listen to what the people want and what the people need. And I'm going to keep doing that. And hopefully others will find me inspirational too.
With the primary election tomorrow, I'm sure there's a lot of confusion on where people can go to vote. Where can they get more information on that?
Well, that's true. With the COVID-19, all of the polling locations have been consolidated. For example, here in Carnegie, everyone's going to the borough building, but they can go to www.dannydevitopa.com, and we're going to post the polling locations for every place in the 45th district. So again, that's dannydevitopa.com, or our social media at Danny DeVito PA. We're going to be sharing it along there too.
Thank you. Danny, thank you again for being here with us today. Do you have any closing thoughts?
Absolutely. People should not be afraid of their government. The government should be afraid of the people. I want to run to be the people's voice in Harrisburg. I think that when I get to Harrisburg, people are finally going to have a representative that stands up for their values, that tells it like it is, that says what the working class and middle class people need, and most importantly, what the 45th district wants. I will represent the 45th district in Harrisburg and nobody else. And thank you, Rachel, so much for this opportunity.
Of course.
You've done a great job, and we look forward to continuing the series after the primary election when we talk about more issues.